everything that entails getting accommodation as a KU student here at the Kenyatta University. So for this and more, everything we've talked about, stay tuned. Keep it KU TV this beautiful morning. I know it's cold, so go grab yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a glass of warm milk as we prepare to usher in our show for today. But right before we dive into it, I will be coming back to you with the traffic updates. Welcome back. We get our traffic updates from Matthew Route on Twitter. So at Matthew Route, MA3, ROUTE is the place we get our traffic updates all through every day, every hour, every minute. So if you have every or any useful information that you feel you need to share with the public, make sure to tag at Matthew Route and also tag KUTV_Kenya on Twitter. So this morning, looks like Thika Road is smooth. Kamiti Road has quite some mess all the way from Githurai to Roysambu. I used that road and it's a bit chaotic this morning. Thika Road is also very misty, so make sure to use all the appropriate lights you should use as a driver. Be a safe and sane driver. Traffic police are being urged to get into Kamiti Road to make it a little bit sane all up until the TRM roundabout. There's also an accident around Allsops where there's a saloon car that has waved away from the bridge. So we do hope there are no fatalities. So if you're driving around or towards Allsops, there's a little bit of traffic on your way there. Let me know what the roads at Ngong Road, Wayakiwe, Langata, Mombasa Road, all roads basically, bypass, especially right now when it's a little bit rainy. Please share with us the details that we need to know. Even the expressway, we also want to know what's happening on the expressway. So share with us. Alcoblo is back. I had asked you that question last week. In Endeleaja, I feel like it's really necessary, especially at this time as we are approaching the festivities. People need to be given a little bit of mandatory sanity. So if you have any information, please let us know about Alcoblo, how you're feeling, has it affected you, have you been arrested? Let us know. Also the insecurity issue that has been there, it was addressed this morning by the police. Was it this morning or last night? And the police highlighted some of the areas that have a lot of insecurity, and we were told as Kenyans to be safe and be sane. And we were also urged that ukishikwa, make sure umepigia polisi, uwaambie mahali umeshikiwa. So tell me what you think and how you feel. Address us. Our social media platforms are KUTV Kenya on Facebook, KUTV_Kenya on Twitter, and at KUTV Kenya on Instagram. I will be waiting for your feedback. I'll be coming back to you after this short break with the news updates. Welcome back. Earlier on, I spoke about the book, Finding the True You. Do you ever think about like who you are? Do you ever wake up in the morning and have a moment to ask yourself, who am I? You know, based on the experiences you've had in life, based on people's experiences, the things you see in life, the things that challenge you. And some of the challenges we get to face sometimes, they change us, they make us different people. So you have a moment whereby you don't really know who you are, because the person you are yesterday is the person you are today. The only difference between yesterday and today is that one challenge that you actually faced that's altered who you were yesterday to either a better person but a not so better person. I don't want to say a bad person, because So do you ever think about who you really are? Do you ever go through journeys of self-discovery? Like, you wake up today and you really know who you are, but then life happens and now suddenly you don't even know who you are. That is what we are going to be addressing today with Sheila Toya. She'll be taking us through the book, where it is a book that empowers readers with transformational insights on how authentically and intentionally through the seasons of life. It is guaranteed to change the reader's mindset concerning the challenges of life. Toya has an experience with working in different sectors of life, whereby she's met many people, having worked in different areas of life for over 27 years. So we can all agree she's met tons and tons of different people who've changed her perspective on how to view life and how to deal with different kinds of people. And she's also been able to pick out the main problem that leads people to not knowing who they really are. And she says most people lack self-awareness and life skills to navigate their life seasons. Like I said, there are seasons where you go through challenges, and there are seasons where your life is smooth. You wake up and life is just going the way you want. Life is just the way you share your life. It's actually working out that way. But some days you wake up and everything is just helter-skelter, upside down. You don't even know where to start. So this is what has contributed to a high case of mental health, relationship, and financial challenges amongst people. This is what we're going to be addressing with Sheila Toya today, as we go through her book, Finding the True You. So you can be Googling about the book as we get into the news updates in a few. Addressing, and also you'll be able to send in your questions, opinions, and what exactly you'd like Sheila to touch on in regards to her book and the conversation in general. So do not touch the dial again. Our social media platforms are at KUTV Kenya on Facebook, KUTV_Kenya on Twitter, and at KUTV Kenya on Instagram. I'll be coming back to you with the news updates. And into our news updates for today. The High Court has stopped the ongoing vetting of principal secretaries pending the hearing and determination of a case filed by the Law Society of Kenya challenging the process. Justice Nzioki Makau has termed the case filed by the Law Society of Kenya as urgent.
The vetting of the principal secretary nominees has entered the second day at Parliament Building. At the parliamentary vetting committees continue vetting the 51 principal secretaries nominated by President William Ruto. Today, 4 of the nominees have been vetted by the National Assembly Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations. However, the exercise has been barred by the Employment and Labor Relations Court, which stopped the ongoing vetting of principal secretaries until the case filed by the Law Society of Kenya (LSK) challenging the process is heard and determined. Justice Nzioki Makau has termed the case filed by LSK as urgent. LSK moved to court to challenge the public secretary nominees list unveiled by President William Ruto on ground that it does not take into account the regional and tribal balance. Before the court stopped the ongoing vetting process, the activity had been scheduled to run from 14 November to 18 November. Shadrack Smiu, KUTV.
Moving on Treasury Principal Secretary nominee Chris Kiptoo told the National Assembly's Finance and National Planning Committee that if approved, he would push for the selling of Kenya Airways to a strategic investor. The PS nominee explained that if a foreign investor buys a controlling stake in the national carrier, they will inject more capital and expertise to restructure the debt-ridden airline, despite efforts to return it to profitability.
While appearing for vetting before members of parliament, Chris Kiptoo, Principal Secretary nominee for Treasury, told the National Assembly's Finance and National Planning Committee that, if approved, the Treasury will seek a foreign strategic investor to buy a controlling stake in the Kenya Airways as a part of returning the national carrier to profitability. Kiptoo's sentiments come barely days after Kenya Airways pilots called off their strike following a court order. Over 400 pilots failed to show up for work, citing mismanagement in the national airline a few weeks ago. Having served as a principal secretary in the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Cooperatives, and with a PhD in International Microeconomics Finance specialization, Kiptoo's background is highly anticipated to bring a solution to KQ, which reported a 9.8 billion Kenya shilling loss as of August this year. Kenya will prefer a cash-rich foreign airline as a strategic investor in a plan that could offer the national carrier aviation expertise and cuts its reliance on the state for operational cash. Joseph Toko, KUTV.
Would be really helpful to see the pride of Africa become the pride of Africa once again, you know. But moving on, Lamu Governor Issa Timami has taken over the leadership of the Amani National Congress Party. Timami is taking over from Musalia Mudavadi, who resigned to concentrate on his cabinet docket as the Prime Cabinet Secretary. Speaking during the handover, the party officials pledged to strengthen the party ahead of the 2027 general elections.
He's a giant of politics in this country. And the various positions he has held in this country surely indicate his stature. Therefore, it will not be easy to fill his shoes. It's a challenge, but believe you me, I am up to that challenge. Yes. We will ensure that we re-energize our party. I want to assure the party fraternity and all Kenyans that there is no issue that ANC will fold. ANC will remain, we will be vibrant, and we are there to stay.
Touching on the insecurity in Nairobi, with the state of insecurity in the country, the Nairobi Central Business District has seen its fair share of insecurity cases. Many residents have taken to changing their routines to avoid being targeted by thieves. And alluding to this, the National Police has vowed to take measures to ensure that the CBD and other parts of the country are safe from muggers.
Crime statistics have shown that gangs are targeting people of all ages, businesses, M-Pesa operators, and residential houses, according to a report given to newsrooms on Monday. NPS has listed drive-in Foya up to KCA along Thika Road, KCA Underpass, Total Exit along Thika Road, Globe Cinema Roundabout, and Kipande Road as major hotspots. The last few weeks has seen rising cases of violent muggings and robberies reported in Nairobi, with some of the incidences leading to loss of innocent lives. According to Nairobi residents, insecurity in the city has been attributed to an alleged misunderstanding between the government and the police.
Ni kama serikali imelala. Na serikali kulala, mimi naona the main point ya maskari kusembea hii kazi ya wizi ni wakati serikali ilianza kuingilia civilian police. Civilian walikuwa wanasaidia sana hapa town. Sasa ukianza kuwaingilia, mtu amekuja anataka kukuua, huyo mtu yeye asiuliwe. That means ya kwamba unampa right hand ya kufanya chenye anataka. Ukiangalia hii mambo ya wizi ilianza wakati walianza kukamata hao maskari ambaye ni civilian.
On November 8th, investigation officers arrested a thief who was stealing from M-Pesa businesses known as Katitu. Before the police took action a few days ago to restore calm, fear had disseminated among pedestrians and drivers due to crime spreading in the city. According to this city driver, crime has affected their daily activities, where he says the government should be quick in ensuring firearms used by criminals are surrendered.
Nikiangalia vile Nairobi saa hii kumeharibika, juu hata leo nikitelemka niliona manda mwingine pale karibu na railways ameibiwa tu, lakini wale wamemuiba wamevuka tu hivi pamoja na watu wengi wakivuka barabara. So kwa maoni yangu mimi naona hivi, kama vile huyu mkubwa wa security amesema jana, amepea hao wenye wako na silaha mwezi moja. Hiyo mwezi moja ni mingi sana. Kwa hiyo mwezi moja bado tutakuwa tumepoteza watu wengi.
Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has also promised to work with the police to enhance security in the capital. The governor raised concerns about border riders being involved in illegal activities, saying they will need to register with transportation cooperatives and be given particular locations to pick up, drop off, and wait for clients.
We are the most crime, but this business has employed many people and many young Kenyans in this nation, and we are calling upon all the chairmen within the CBD to come and intervene on these issues, because we are supposed to remove those rotten people in ourselves.
Tensions now shift to the leadership of the police in the city to ensure order and safety in the CBD. For KUTV, I am Susan Wayaki.
Moving on, Adamson Bungei is the new Nairobi police commander following a shake-up at Vigilance House that also affected 12 other senior police officers. Bungei takes over from James Mugera, who is headed for retirement. The latest changes come in the wake of an increase in criminal activity, especially in urban areas.
I, Japhet Komen Chabere.
Even before the dust settles following his appointment and approval as the new Inspector General of Police, Japheth Koome has a full in tray with serious security matters scrambling for his attention. Nairobi city dwellers specifically have in the past few days taken to social media spaces to complain of sudden rise in broad daylight muggings, pickpocketing, and other coordinated thefts, thus turning the heat on city police chiefs. This could have been a factor that led to the reshuffle in the National Police Service as the command seeks to curb crime in the country's capital. In the new order, Adamson Bungei will make a comeback to the city following 2 years of service in Baringo County. Before that, he was the OCPD for Buruburu and Nairobi Central. Munga Nyale, who recently got shortlisted for DCI boss position, has been moved to the police headquarters as Director for Police Reforms. His current position of Principal Deputy to the IG has now gone to Abdallah Komesha, who recently just joined the DCI as Director of Personnel. Other officers affected by the changes include Boniface Maingi, who will now be the Director of Operations at the National Police Service, Rashid Yakub, new Director Community Policing, Judy Lamet to become Deputy Director Police Operations, Jacinta Mudhoni to be Director of Personnel. At the same time, former police spokesperson Bruno Shioso has today reported to work as the new commandant at the Kiganjo Police Training College, filling the gap left by IG Japheth Koome. Dennis Omondi, KUTV.
Well, let's just hope that with this new team, things will be better. Things will be a bit safer for us as a country, as they prove to us. As they prove to us the work of their hands and what they can do, because clearly they were deserving of the seats and roles they have been granted. So let's hope our city will be a lot safer than it actually is to us Kenyans. And Bill Gates is in Kenya. Microsoft Corporation owner Bill Gates and co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is in Kenya for a 3-day visit to engage with different stakeholders in both public and private sectors. During his visit, the billionaire will concentrate on climate change initiatives in the country with a special emphasis on farmers. Jeff Mwangi reports.
Bill Gates, one of the world's richest individuals according to a research by Investopedia in November 2022, the benefactor who has pumped billions into projects aimed at improving lives and livelihoods across the world, landed in Kenya on November 15th for a series of meetings with government and private sector officials. On his first visit, Bill Gates toured Makueni County and was hosted by Governor Mutula Kilonzo Jr. Here he met with the selected farmers at Kalonzoeni and health workers at Makueni Mother and Child Hospital and Kalonzoeni Healthcare. On Thursday, November 17th, Gates is expected to engage university students at the University of Nairobi in a hybrid conference. Climate change and food security will be topics of discussion. Gates' visit to Kenya came barely days after he announced shillings 170 billion in funding for African climate change programs. Kenyan farmers were selected to benefit from the funding, which will be used to develop technologies that can help farmers predict weather patterns. The founder of the Bill and Melinda Foundation last visited the country in 2016. Jeff Mwangi, KUTV.
Moving on, Bomet's governor, Hilary Bachok has asked the residents to take individual responsibility to improve the environment so as to mitigate effects of climate change that is being witnessed in the world. The governor made a commitment to enhance environmental care in his county.
We must take responsibility as individuals. Bomet County government has put strategies in place to ensure that we make our own small contributions, at least to minimize the effect and the impact of this climate change. So we must take care of that forest, because we have a number of streams and rivers that flows all the way from Chebalungu forest. Some of them have dried up.
Moving on, a section of Kenya Ports Authority staff have once again rejected the move by the KPA pension scheme leadership and trustees to attempt to sell houses belonging to the scheme to outsiders. The pensioners want members of the scheme to be given first priority in buying the houses, saying that their contributions over the years contributed to the construction of the said houses.
400,000.
The Kenya Ports Authority staff and pensioners are once again in a tussle with the pension scheme of the corporation in a long-lasting wrangle termed as a malice of corrupt deals, where the scheme officials are being accused of intending to sell the scheme houses to outsiders. The estate plays home to over 300 families and staff of KPA, all contributing to the scheme. While addressing the media at Pandia Estate in Kizingo, the staff alleged that the current scheme officials and trustees were doing things without involving members. Mutali said that they recently received letters informing them that their rent will be raised beginning next year to reflect the current market rate within the area, a move they vehemently oppose.
Kitu ambacho sisi tulikuwa tunasema, I'm a pension contributor. I have my millions of money katika pension scheme. Tumesema hizo nyumba tuuziwe sisi kama wafanyakazi wa bandarini ambao tunakaa katika hizo nyumba. If I cannot afford, wacha mtu mwingine afanye nini? Acha achukue hiyo nyumba na aweze kuimiliki.
The staff members also called for the investigation of the scheme officials by the government, alleging that they had embezzled funds and that the current move to sell assets and properties was as a result of its failure to pay retirees.
Serikali itoke, itutetee kwa hili jambo. Na ningependa pia hiyo ofisi ya pension. Hiyo pension scheme office kumeletwa watu wapya pia pale ambao pia hatuwajui, wanafanya kazi pale, kazi yao kupeana mabarua kwa wafanyikazi. Wafanyikazi karibu wote wamepewa mabarua ya kuwa wanadaiwa, wame backdateiwa pesa in arrears, walipe, and it's not less than 200,000.
The Mombasa High Court in 2019 stopped the sale of houses belonging to the scheme, pending a suit filed in court by one of the pensioners, Bwana Mohammed, who filed a petition before Justice Dora Chepkoni to stop the scheme from selling his house in Nyali. Jacqueline Wanjiru, KUTV.
In other news, Kilifi County government has partnered with the Kenya Red Cross in registering of people living with disability. The process is timed to equip these people with identification cards, enabling them to acquire government funds. Leaders have, however, warned parents hiding their children, stating they will face the law.
Kilifi County has embarked on the process of registering people living with disability. This is to ensure that they are identified by the government so that they can receive government funds. The process is said to continue for 7 days, covering all the villages in Kilifi County. Alice Kalimbo, Assistant Commissioner Kilifi County, has warned parents who hide their children at home to take caution and bring them for registration. Parents who will not present their children for registration will face the law as explained by Kalimbo.
Wazee wetu wa vijiji na nyumba kumi kwamba kuna watu wengine ambao zaidi hawajakuwa registered na wamefichwa. Sasa hao ndio ambao tumelenga zaidi ili kwamba tuhakikishe kwamba kila mtu ameweza kusajiliwa, ameweza kupata kitambulisho, na hata wakati tutakuwa tunafanya registration ile ya cash transfer pia inakuwa na urahisi zaidi kama mtu ako na kile kitambulisho cha walemavu. Wazazi kama wale ambao wana watoto wanaishi na ulemavu wasiogope wala wasiwafiche watoto wale, waweze kujitokeza ili watoto wale wakaweze kusajiliwa, na kupitia kusajiliwa ndio hata kama kutakuwa na misaada yoyote kupitia kwa mashirika ambayo si ya kiserikali na hata kupitia ofisi za serikali wanaweza kusaidika.
The process is said to benefit the people living with disabilities as the government allocates funds for them. Thus, for one to receive the funds, he or she should be identified by the government through an identification card issued by the Kenya Red Cross Association. Positive feedback was given by some of the people who availed themselves for registration, terming the registration process as a good way to ensure that people living with disabilities are catered for. Leaders from Kilifi County are encouraging people living with disabilities to come out in large numbers for registration. The leaders have promised to visit each and every village to ensure 100% registration. Edward Nyamo, KUTV.
It's a few days to World Cup. What team are you supporting? Are you following up on everything? Umechagua timu yako. Mimi hapa ni team Brazil. Msinichekele if anything happens. We just said with World Cup, timu yako ikishinda una move on. You move on to the next team. It is exactly 5 days before the kickoff of the much anticipated FIFA World Cup in Qatar. In today's edition of the World Cup Diaries, we switch our attention to the two South American teams that have a vast support from football fans across the globe, Brazil and Argentina.
Brazil national team, often dubbed as the Canarinho, is one of the most followed national teams in the world, taking pride in technically gifted players over the years, while also boasting of 5 World Cup titles to its name. But away from the achievements, there is something that attracts fans even more.
From World Cup 2018, I've always supported Brazil because I love their play style. But this time I was very disappointed by the way they did not choose Firmino with his run of form in the Premier League. But my friends told me that they chose Richarlison over Firmino because Richarlison fits very well to the play style. So they went with him, even not performing to the expectations like Firmino.
So for me, I'm supporting Brazil because it's it's a big team. It's quite a big team with five World Cup titles in its name. It's such a big team, and if you see the quality of the players so far, even club-wise, iko tu sawa. So I think Brazil is going to take the World Cup this time.
One of the players called up to the Samba squad is Dani Alves, who will reap the record books by becoming the oldest player to represent the Canaries at the global event. And to some fans, this will provide a head start to the arguably young Brazilian squad.
Dani Alves, even I was also doubting if he will be of such an impact, but I decided just to overlook because they have a great squad of midfielders.
I have seen that he's the oldest player to ever played in the Brazilian team in World Cup. For me, that brings experience to that team. So I would like him to play. Even Marcelo could have been, but his spot was taken by the likes of Teles, who is performing in Sevilla, and Sandro, who is doing well in Juventus.
Argentina is also popular among football fans, and this can be attributed to the iconic figures who have stepped in their feet in the squad, including but not limited to Diego Maradona and Lionel Messi.
Okay, kwa upande wangu nashabikia timu la Argentina na naona wakishinda kombe hilo la World Cup. Argentina wamejipanga, kikosi iko sawa, ukiangalia the GOAT mwenyewe Messi ako ndani, Di Maria na wengine wengi. Naona defense iko sawa, mbele iko sawa na tunatarajia kushinda World Cup.
Football analysts have placed Argentina and Brazil at the summit of the possible winners of the World Cup, and now it remains to be seen whether they can rub shoulders against European heavyweights and clinch the gold. Lincoln Chege for World Cup Diaries, KUTV.
We have come to the end of our news updates for today. Thank you so much for tuning in this far. Keep sending in your feedback at KUTV Kenya on Facebook, at KUTV_Kenya on Twitter, and at KUTV Kenya on Instagram. After this short break, I will be coming back to you with Muthoni Kariuki, who is Miss Tourism Africa. Nataka kuja tuombe kama anaweza kuwa amechoka, because this title is heavy. How is she feeling? How does it feel to be Miss Tourism Africa, having toured Africa just for this title? She must be very tired from carrying such a big title. I have some feedback. We have Elijah Kimani wa Kandara, watching from Kandara Muranga, with tuning in. We will be coming back to you with Muthoni Karaoke after this short break.
Unemployment has hit you hard. Your salary is meager. You decide to venture into business, but you're struggling to thrive in it. You would want to reap a big tip on how not to run into losses.
Forget the preachy business vlogs, the hyperbolic motivational speeches, and all the roads down desperation.
Hope has come with model stories from small successful entrepreneurs. We tell you these tales weekly on The Budding Entrepreneur. Join us as we help you make your trade profitable and often smile to the bank.
Why are you taking medicine? Are you okay?
Yes, I am. The tablet is for HIV prevention.
Pre-exposure prophylaxis, PrEP, refers to antiretroviral drugs taken daily by HIV-negative people who are at ongoing risk of HIV infection to reduce their chances of becoming infected. If used consistently, PrEP can reduce the risk of HIV infection by over 90%. However, because it does not protect against unplanned pregnancy, it should always be used with a family planning method. To get PrEP and any other HIV prevention method, visit a healthcare provider. To talk to someone on PrEP, uliza NASCOP at 0800 724 848 or use direct line 0726 460 000 or 1190. This message is brought to you by the National Syndemic Disease Control Council.
Welcome to Engine, an educational show for all the family. Get ready for some exciting learning and fun teaching.
How does a plane fly over the sea? How do the planets float so weightlessly? Let's go! It's technology. Let's go! Science, you and me. We're learning every day. Engine leads the way.
I'm a chef by profession. 14 years. I've worked abroad in many different countries. But before I went outside of Kenya, I was working in Kenya for around 8 years. And then I went out back in 2007. And I've been out for the last 14 years internationally. I've been privileged to work with very many different hotels in very different states of UAE, that is Dubai, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi.
Welcome back. On today's show, we have some amazing things lined up for you, and I have a very beautiful guest. Coincidentally, she is my friend. We once upon a time, she used to be a model. Or she's told me it's not used to. I have Miss Tourism Africa, Muthoni Karaoke.
Hi, Nina. Good to
So
see
good
you.
to see you. I'm so excited to have you here.
Me too.
You look so glorious.
Thank you. You too, as always.
You look so good. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Happy, excited to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy and I can't wait to talk to you.
You look so gorgeous. I can't believe it. Are you tired? Like, are your shoulders tired from the weight of, carrying this crown?
Well, I think they say heavy is the head that carries the crown.
Oh,
So
wow.
it comes with the responsibility and all. But I got this. I'm a queen. Yeah.
You are. You are. I must. Woman Crush Wednesday. You are a Woman Crush Wednesday for
Thank
today.
you.
You are a Woman Crush Wednesday for today. Maybe take us through how has your journey been? Or before we get into that,
Yeah.
who is Muthoni Karaoke?
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Muthoni Karaoke, mostly known as Noni Karaoke, and I am Miss Tourism Africa, the very first Miss Tourism Africa. I am a young career journalist. I am a climate activist and an environmentalist, and I'm also a creative. So now under the creative is where there's a lot that I do, which includes now being a model. I'm also an author, an actress. I love dancing, all the creative things that I find myself exploring. And yeah, basically I'd say that is who Muthoni Karaoke is.
I didn't know you were an author.
Yes.
I was 2 years old when I found out that you were an author.
Yeah. We've written, co-authored a children's book. It's called Stories by the Fireplace. And this was inspired by the fact that, Kitambo people would go shago and then you sit by the fireplace, listen to stories, maybe by grandparents or uncles, aunties. But sasa, nowadays, the children don't have that opportunity. So we bring that to the children so you can read them the stories
for yourself.
Yeah, for yourself, even when they're sleeping or things like that. Yeah, so we bring them the stories by the fireplace to your home.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's creative. That's pretty creative.
Yeah.
Let's not get into your modeling journey. Take us through where it all started.
Yes, well, I partly grew up country, and so I won't say it started when I was a kid, because like maybe when you're in the village or somewhere, you're not going to see like a beauty queen walking around and things like that. Yeah. So I got exposed to now the talents and everything once I got to high school. That was in St. Bakita, Chicago Girls, big up my principal back then, Madam Kagwiti, and all my friends. And then so we had these talent searches and all, where people just present their talents and all. And so I modeled, and it was so beautiful, it was so natural. I loved it, and I knew that was something I definitely wanted to to follow through with. I designed. I'm also a designer. So, and most of the designs I wear till now are maybe some of my creations. And then followed it up to in campus, went to Kenya Methodist University, Nairobi campus, modeled in campus. And then along the way, that's where I realized this was something bigger than I thought it was, because at first we were modeling, we were having fun, the clothes, the traveling and all. But I realized that once I stood to speak, people would want to listen to me and what I have to say. And so I realized that modeling was giving me a platform, and a voice. So, and then, as models, as beauty queens, there's always a pet project. So what a pet project, to those maybe who don't know, is an initiative, that's a CSR that you're doing for the community. So you find people do, you feed the street children, or you focus with people with disabilities, children's home, different initiatives. And then, but for me, I found that I was attracted even to environmental stuff and climate, and so I found that my purpose in that side. So that's where my modeling journey started, all the way in high school, followed to campus, and then afterwards, and it aligned with my purpose. Now as an environmentalist and a climate activist, I am able to use that platform, to advocate for change. I'm able to tell people, let's plant trees. I'm able to to empower young girls back there. So yeah, it has become something that is so big, and I'm grateful for this God-given talent. Yeah.
Miss Tourism Africa. Where did Miss Tourism Africa start? How did you get into Miss Tourism? Let's start from there.
Yeah.
How did you walk into Miss Tourism?
Yeah, so I participated in Miss Tourism Kenya, that was in 2018, where I was representing my county. I won the Embu title. I'm from Embu County, shout out. And so I became Miss Tourism Kenya, Embu County. And then after that, I was consistent. I was focused. I kept on, with the projects and all these initiatives and all. Followed that, made me get another title in 2020. That was Miss Earth Kenya, represented Kenya at again, but this one was now virtual. And then now I was still consistent and focused with whatever I was doing, advocating for different causes. And then I was appointed to represent Kenya for Miss Tourism Africa. And so that happened in Nigeria. I traveled to Lagos, Nigeria, met beautiful women from the continent Africa, and it was a beautiful experience, one of my best, and I ended up winning the title of Miss Tourism Africa, the very first, because this was the first edition, you know, and so it was really empowering. And as Miss Tourism Africa now, what we advocate for is, you know, showing our motherland to the world, you know. Let us see Africa first before we even think of going outside the continent, you know, to travel and tour. And also we start even with Kenya, you know, now bringing it back to Kenya. Let's start with Kenya before we go to Africa, and then we go to the world, you know. So at Miss Tourism Africa, we welcome the world to see Africa first.
So beautiful. This
Yes.
is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Now there's Miss Tourism Africa, yes.
Mm.
But then I've also come to learn that there's the affiliation you have with Vera Beauty College.
Yeah.
What is the relationship between you and Vera, and how has Vera made you who you are right now?
Yeah. So you know, every organization like pageants and all, they have like the franchise owner and the one who owns the franchise in every country. So in Kenya we have the Miss Tourism Kenya organization, and then that's affiliated to Vera Beauty College. Those are our main support. That's our main support system. And so you find that organizations and entities like Vera Beauty College, they empower, they bring these platforms, you know, to empower young women. And I would love to thank my director, that's Ambassador Alice Kamunge.
We had her here about 3 weeks ago. She's an amazing woman.
She is women empowerment. Like, she's been my mentor, you know. She's also an environmentalist, and you know, she's been my mentor, and she uses this platform to empower young women, you know, to really empower young women. Looking at myself in 2018 when I was Miss Tourism Embu County up to where I am right now, she has been very intentional in mentoring me, you know, and not just me, even other amazing young women, just giving that platform. Like now when I was able, she appointed me to go and represent Kenya in Nigeria, you know, and she didn't know, you know, she didn't know that I was going to win, but she gave me that platform. And
she believed in you.
Yeah, she believed in me, and we need more of that mentorship, you know, and we need also government, you know, sponsors and partners to come on board, so that entities like Vera Beauty College and Miss Tourism Kenya, we're able to run such platforms and pageants yearly. You know, they should go yearly. Our title goes for 1 year. But now you find, like, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic, we had an economic crisis. Everything was almost at a standstill, and so we were not like able to, you know, run the event again. So that's why you find like people, we were being appointed, you know, out of the consistency that you've been doing and the focus that you've shown. But it would be great to have these pageants yearly. So we would want to ask for the support, you know, government to support, you know, if it's Miss Tourism Kenya, Vera Beauty College, so that we're able to have these pageants running and empower young women, because it is life-changing. It is life-changing.
It is. People are watching and they're like, oh wow, oh wow, she's so pretty, the glitz and the glam. But I'm sure there's the downside. There's the ugly side of the crown. I'm sure you've had an experience of the uglier side of beauty pageants that people don't get to see, that people don't get to talk about, that young women don't get to understand. Young women will probably watch you right now and be like, I really want to be like Noni. And they can. But then maybe you can share with us the downsides, the ugly sides of being a crown holder, or the journey of marching towards being a crown holder, the things you go through that are painful, that are hurtful, that people don't know about.
Well, just like in any environment that you find yourself in, there's always going to be ups and downs, you know. But that is totally what makes the journey worth it, you know. There's no way you're just going to come in and then blah, it happens, and then, you know, there's always going to be a process, and that is what makes you know, it makes the journey worth it. For beauty queens, or for beauty, I'll say beauty queens, you know, you might see the crown shiny and glitz and glam, but and then they're made of very precious stones, you know, they're called rhinestones and diamonds and all that. But that is not what a crown is made of, you know. A crown is made of discipline. A crown is made of persistence. A crown is made of focus, determination. Those are the things that make that crown. It does not come easy. And the journey, of course, in Kenya, we don't really have that exposure with the modeling world and the industry, but I can say we have made steps, but we can do better than that. We need to really nurture this talent of modeling. And so for me, starting out, as I said way back in school and all, there's always going to be the financial aspect. You need to look nice. If you're going for a competition, there are different categories you have to have, and you have to go out
and
and
it's a competition.
Yes, and it's a competition. Exactly, you have to bring your A game. So and then maybe now you are a student and all. So the financial aspect was really a bit crazy. But then along the way, I got to learn how to live with my means, And now it makes sense now also me being an environmentalist and championing for this, that you don't have to buy new things every now and then, Borrow from friends, you can hire, you can go second hand. And that is, we are avoiding now the fast fashion. Look for quality and not quantity, And this way you are able to style different pieces different ways, and that has been a hack.
So I can say, to be a beauty queen, you also have to learn the art of being creative.
Exactly, you have to be very creative and intentional with whatever you're wearing. If it's this piece, you can style it with this, and then still come out again styling it differently, and maybe even no one will notice. But that's what is going to get the creativity. So even to the young models who are upcoming and looking to get into maybe a career, research. You don't just get into any pageant, You don't just get into any competition. Research, look at the history of that pageant. Who are the title holders who've come before you? Who's the organizer? What do they do? Because also you find that some people are there for showbiz.
And money.
Yeah. Exactly. They're there for entertainment. And they don't mind, having the models just being there looking nice and all. And then at the end of the day, you find that it didn't help you, So research, you can find people like Miss Nina or I. She is a former beauty queen. I know she has not told you that.
I've not shared that.
And I've told her it's not former. Once a queen, always a queen. So she's also a queen.
I've learned something new today.
Yeah, so find role models out there who can mentor you, and help you avoid some of these paths that maybe you could end up in the wrong places. And so you have to
be careful and
be very careful, do your research, and then know that nothing comes easy. There's always a journey, as you've heard. I started way back, and along the way, I just mentioned maybe the big titles. There are other smaller ones that I had to fight for, and I didn't always get it. And so but every time you don't get it, it's an experience. Yeah,
the plate is big enough for everyone.
Exactly. So wait, be patient,
and be persistent and consistent.
And very persistent and consistent. Yeah.
Moving forward, I'm sure you have future plans as a beauty queen in the industry. What are some of the things you intend to do for the society? Like you said, you have to have, you call it a pet plan.
Yeah, pet project.
A pet project. You have to have a pet project. And right now I know it's not a pet project. It's all grown up now.
Yes, it's not pet anymore.
It's not a pet anymore. So what are the plans you have for the future, for the society as a beauty queen? What should we expect from you in the days to come?
Yeah. So being a beauty queen is being a leader, and you can agree with me that the industry has really changed.
It has.
We have come from just looking at the physical attributes, like you have to be this tall, you have to look this type of way. That is not what you are focusing on.
She's
right
actually
now.
A good example of height. None is not that tall.
I am not. I'm like a 5'4", and in the modeling world, even in Bilikimo.
6 and above.
Yeah, that's like a Bilikimo in the modeling world, But that's exactly shows how we have grown.
Yeah,
it's inclusive, because imagine if they would have left me out of this opportunity because of height. Exactly. I went ahead and won the continental title, and I believe many more are coming, greater ones.
Amen.
Amen.
Manifesting.
Hallelujah. Yeah, so you are a leader. We are looking for someone who can speak. If we send you to an organization to go and represent, these people, what can you say? What can you do? And so for me, this now is my platform to bring that leadership out. So it's not just, as you said, it's not just a pet project anymore. It's a life-changing initiative that I'm undertaking. And so now as Miss Tourism Africa, my advocacy is ecotourism. So ecotourism is traveling to natural areas responsibly and sustainably while conserving the environment and protecting and improving the lives of the local people, you know. So because you find that the local people, they are, when you go to ukitembea, maybe somewhere at the beach, there's a local community there, you know, the people who are selling you some of these things and all. So how can we empower them? As you travel and tour, are you empowering these communities? You know, how are you supporting them? Maybe you can, don't just travel and then go back home. Get involved in so maybe what are they doing in their community? What can you support with? Are they building a school? What can you do, you know? And then the conservation part of the environment is because we cannot live without Mother Earth.
You can't.
If we destroy the planet, then we don't even have that tourism to promote, you know?
Yeah.
So we have to do that responsibly. As you travel, don't just throw around waste. You know, as you travel, take care of the environment as you travel, you know, advocate for this conservation. And I have a formula that I normally advocate for. It's the 5 R's. The one first is rethink, reduce, reuse, recycle, and respect Mother Earth. Yeah.
Maybe take them through that again.
Yes, the 5 R's. The first is rethink. Before you make any decision, rethink, is it really necessary, you know? Do I really have to travel using a plane? Because that's also causing pollution to the environment. Or how else can I maybe do this sustainably, you know? We also have solar cars right now. Is that an option as I choose my tourism destination and holiday? The other one is reduce. If you can reduce whatever you are doing, reduce. Reuse, recycle, and respect Mother Earth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Should we expect to see you on Miss World Kenya coming soon?
Well, so first, I think I'm not done with my work in the modeling industry and the pageantry industry. As I say, the last event really empowered me when I was able to meet all these beautiful women, and they also have their projects, you know, and now together we're going to work together to, you know, to showcase the beauty of Africa and to help lives while at it impact lives positively. And so, yes, I believe where God leads me, I am going to go, because this is a God-given job, you know. It's not just it's a calling, and you can't resist if it comes. And I'm sure we have so much more to offer as Africa, as Kenya. We are very talented, and so yes, I'm sure you might see me somewhere
with bigger titles
in Jesus' name.
Amen. They say where God leads, He provides. So looking forward to see you.
Thank you.
With the bigger titles. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
As we wind up, where can we get you? Social media.
Let me start by thanking my organization in Nigeria, the Miss Tourism Organization, Miss Tourism Africa Organization, and Q Concepts for giving us this platform as young women. Mr. Santi, thank you so much. Let me also thank Miss Tourism Kenya, Vera Beauty College, and Ambassador Alice Kamunge for the empowering platform once again to young women like me, which has gone ahead, you know, to propel me into greater heights in my future. Thank you so much, Ambassador. And let me also thank a special thank you to my county government, Embu County. That's my governor, Honorable Her Excellency Honorable Cecily Mbarire, and the Deputy Governor, Honorable Justice Kenywa, for supporting me also in this journey. And it is indeed empowering to see that the leaders are starting to embrace the talents of the young people. Yeah, exactly, because there's so much potential in the young people, and it's a power that we have to embrace. And also to thank my family, my mom, my sister, my fans, my friends, everyone who supported me in this journey. It requires a lot of support even out there. Thank you so much. God bless you. And then last but not least, of course, we thank the Almighty because of providing.
We wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be here because of, you know, very many things, but He made it possible and He gave us victory, and for that we are thankful. You can find me on social media across all platforms, Noni Karaoke, or if you look for Miss Tourism Africa, trust me, I'm the first one, I'm the only one.
Pioneer.
You are going to definitely find me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and thank you to you for having me and for this lovely
again and again and again. You're very, very
you.
welcome. You can even come launch your launch your projects here.
Yeah.
Feel free. We as the KU family, we're here to support you. Thank you so much for even coming this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We've had Noni share with us her journey. I've also understood you want to be addressed as Muthoni Karaoke.
Yes, Muthoni, you know, that's, you know, so that once they start sending me money, you don't see Muthoni and then you cancel.
Oh, it's Musoni karaoke.
Yeah, but Noni came from my grandfather. It's like an endearment, yeah?
Okay.
And so my grandfather, and then it's stuck, so everyone calls me Noni now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Noni. Thank you so much once again. It's been a pleasure. You can follow her once again across all social media platforms at Noni Karaoke. Oh, she said she's the only pioneer Miss Tourism Africa. So just Google Miss Tourism Africa. You will find her there. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Do not touch that dial. I'll be coming back with Mrs. Agnes Omugunda from Kenyatta University after this short break.
Thank you, darling. Beautiful, lovely.
Why are you taking medicine? Are you okay?
Yes, I am. The tablet is for HIV prevention.
Pre-exposure prophylaxis, PrEP, refers to antiretroviral drugs taken daily by HIV-negative people who are at ongoing risk of HIV infection to reduce their chances of becoming infected. If used consistently, PrEP can reduce the risk of HIV infection by over 90%. However, because it does not protect against unplanned pregnancy, it should always be used with a family planning method. To get PrEP and any other HIV prevention method, visit a healthcare provider. To talk to someone on PrEP, uliza NASCOP at 0800 724 848 or use direct line 0726 460 000 or 1190. This message is brought to you by the National Syndemic Disease Control Council.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Today I am at Jua e-bikes. So if you look at our bike, it's quite competitive compared to Boda Boda, which is currently used especially for delivery riders. This is because unlike a motorbike, you don't have to use fuel. So you basically need to use 12 shillings just to charge the full battery to operate within a day.
This is the battery. Every battery has its own key. So you put it in, you unlock. So you get it out, you can take it back in. Okay, you get it out for the purpose, the charging purpose. This is increasing the speed, reducing the speed.
Unemployment has hit you hard. Your salary is meager. You decide to venture into business, but you're struggling to thrive in it. You would want to reap a big tip on how not to run into losses.
Forget the preachy business vlogs, the hyperbolic motivational speeches, and all the roads down desperation.
Hope has come with model stories from small successful entrepreneurs. We tell you these tales weekly on The Budding Entrepreneur. Join us as we help you make your trade profitable and often smile to the bank.
Maelfu na maelfu Maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
People power si vuguvugu. People power ni idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni duniani leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Welcome back. It's a pleasure if you're just joining us. You can keep sending in your feedback at KUTV Kenya on Facebook, at KUTV Kenya on Instagram, and at KUTV_Kenya on Twitter. Campus life is very interesting life to live. Campus is where we learn independence. Campus is where we live away from our parents. Is where we learn how to budget. Is where we learn how to be by ourselves. No one is limiting you on your freedom. Is limiting you on your decisions. It's you and yourself and your God. So what are some of the challenges you faced? What are some of the experiences you've had, both the good and the bad? These are the things I request you to share with us on our social media platforms again, which are at KUTV Kenya on Instagram, at KUTV Kenya on Facebook, and at KUTV_Kenya on Twitter. I have Mrs. Omugunda with us here in studio. She is from Kenyatta University. She'll be sharing with us accommodation at Kenyatta University, how to apply, the things to go through, and this far some of the things they have created to ensure that you have a seamless stay as you go through your studies here at KU. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure too.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Maybe take us through, who is Mrs. Omugunda?
Mrs. Omugunda is staff in Kenyatta University. I work in the Department of Accommodation. Currently, I am the acting manager, accommodation and hostels. Yeah.
Perfect person to have here this morning.
Thank you.
How do students apply for accommodation here?
Well, I'll first of all start by giving you just a brief about our accommodation.
Yes, please.
Our accommodation is divided in 3 zones. So we have 3 zones. We have the Nyayo zone, which is the largest. We have the western zone. We have the eastern zone. Then we have Ruiru and Parkland campus. We have divided them in those zones for ease administration, because if it is one blanket, we are not able to take care of the student easily. So in those zones, we have zonal officers who take care of everything in that zone. So if you're the zonal officer in Nyayo, that is your territory. All things that are happening in that zone, you collect the information, you report to the manager. Those they are able to sort them at the ground level, they do. What they are not able to, they escalate to the manager, then the director, and then we are able to make the student's life comfortable. So that makes it easy for us. The students are able, they have one person who is just so close to them, so that they don't have their problems being, taken to other offices, or they are not able to. So they're very close with the zonal officers, the housekeepers are there. So usually that's how we have divided our accommodation. Well, our students apply. Kenyatta University, we have created a portal, and our applications are mainly online. So it's hostel at ku.ac.ke. It's a very easy process to do it, and usually we advertise, and the adverts are done a month before the end of the academic year, the second semester of the academic year. During the last month, that's when the student, we do a call. The accommodation department does a call. So in the call, students are told how to apply, when to apply, the timings, and then we communicate to them through the KU website, through other social medias, and we involve the student leaders.
I am curious. Do you advertise at the end of the academic year to ensure once you have cleared, you don't continue with your stay there?
Usually we give accommodation for one academic year. So we advertise at the end of that period so that you can apply for for the next academic year.
It's like it's a contract.
Yes. It's a 1 year period. So once you're in for that year and the academic year is over, now we do a call for the next academic year.
So can you change where you want to stay, or
yes,
if
you
you
could
stay
be.
in Nyayo, you can only stay in Nyayo until you clear?
No. You can change, but it's not you who change. What happens is that once all the students have applied, we have a room allocation clerk. It is now a responsibility to allocate the rooms where we have space at that time. Yes. So you could be at your first year, you could be in Nyayo. In second year, you go to the Western Zone. Third year, you are in the Eastern Zone. Yes.
But if I want to stay in Nyayo forever, I can stay there?
No.
No.
Unless you're lucky enough to be in that zone for that period. Because it is, we do what we call random allocation.
Okay.
So we can't choose this student A is going to be in Nyayo throughout.
So I as a student don't have a choice?
Yes, you don't have a choice.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
However, we have some courses that we have put in a certain zone because of their academic periods. The medicine students, the engineering students, their period is longer than the others.
Yeah.
When these other students are closing for their semester, they're having an extension.
Yeah.
So that's why we have put them in one zone for ease of management, and for them, when the others are clearing from the hostels, we don't have to tell them, now you move from this hostel, you go to this hostel.
Giving them a seamless time.
Yes. So it makes it very easy for them to be in that zone. Yes.
So are there deadlines, or you can apply anytime?
There are deadlines. So once the call has been done, this call has the period of when you start application and when it is ending. So at that time now, the student is able to apply. If it is starting today, 16th, and ending on 31st at 1 p.m. Once 1 p.m., we close the system. And that is done by ICT.
What happens if I miss the deadline and I have nowhere to stay?
If you miss the deadline and you have nowhere to stay, what happens is that usually you find that after students have applied, the room allocation clerk download all that information, get the students who have applied. There are those students, when we do the call, we usually give specifics. There are those students who are not eligible to apply at that period because of either their semesters, like for example, the medicine students. We just did a call some 2 weeks ago. And now, if we now say those who are supposed to apply.
No, let's go back a bit. What makes a student eligible?
Once you should be, of course, Kenyatta University student. You should be on session. You have no discipline issues or disciplinary issues, because when we have students who have disciplinary issues, they are usually blacklisted from applying the hostels. If you have issues with the hostels, or maybe with the university because of drugs or other things. So we have those students who are not eligible to stay in the hostels at all. Number two, if you are a fourth-year student, a finalist, that's it. The finalists, we do not allow them to apply because of the period or the units that they have. They have very few units. So you find most of them are not even, they don't even stay on campus. Of course, they have maybe gotten a house somewhere and they're living by themselves. So we exempt them from applying. Yeah.
Oh, so now let's move forward now to you were explaining about missing deadlines.
Yes.
What happens after an individual has missed the deadline?
After an individual, the room allocation clerk download all that information of the students, then sorts them out after doing the sorting of the applicants who have applied, we usually have spaces remaining. So we do a second call. We can go even to a third call, depending on how much space has been left.
Up until the slots are completely full.
Until now, our hostels are full to capacity. Yes.
So how do the students know that they've actually been picked?
After the deadline, the room allocation clerk downloads that, sorts those students and those who are not supposed to apply. Then again, we communicate through the website and social media and the student leaders that this because we when the results are out, we say the results will be out on we give a date on the 15th, but you don't give the timing for that one because now we may take a little bit longer. But we give the date. If we have said they'll be out on 16th,
it doesn't matter if it's at 2 a.m.
It will be on 16th. No, it doesn't go to 2 a.m.
Okay.
Up to about maybe 5 or so in the evening, or even past that, or earlier. So the students still on the same portal, they're able to get the information, and they go to the same website. The website is very friendly. Once you open and go to hostels, now this time, the other time it was telling you apply for hostel, this time it prompts you, check the results. So you just go check the results, you check your results.
On the same website you applied?
Yes.
Okay, which is?
Which is hostel@ku.ac.ke. But for security purposes, a student is supposed to log in using their corporate email. Yes. So you can't check my results. You can't check for me unless you have my corporate email. Yes.
Do you also maybe use social media to make the announcements?
Yes, we do. Yes. Once the results are out, we use the social media. We use the website. Students, leaders, we communicate and tell them that the results are out so students can check their results. Yes.
Compared to other campuses, what is the main advantage of this particular system?
The system is one, it's very user friendly. You see, like once you open it prompts you apply for hostel if you're applying for hostel. If now the call is out, you go on and it's very easy. Number two, you can apply from anywhere. Whether you're in Nairobi, you're in any part of the country, you can apply for your hostel. Number three, also on that same when we send now the information, we are able to help the students. We give all the details. If you have a problem, visit this office, Usambara 2, room 15. There are officers who are there who are able to help you if you have an issue with your corporate email. So we really assist the student. Number two, there are those students maybe you're not within Nairobi or KU. Also, we have an email, inquiries at director-ac.ke. So you can be assisted wherever you are. If you're around Nairobi, maybe you come to the office. If you're in KU, you come to the office. If you're not, just send an email and we assist you and help you how to apply.
And are there financial requirements needed for you to be here?
No, it's free. To apply, it's free. But of course, to live, yes, you pay. Yes. And we charge per hostel, per semester. Yes. So once you pay your first semester, yes, you pay and you stay the whole semester. The next time you ask for money is during your second semester.
Oh, yes. Okay. We've talked about the advantages of the system. But what about the challenges of the system?
The challenges of the system, one, we have new students, especially the first years, who are not able, they are not conversant with the system and they don't know how to do it. Those ones too, we have taken care of them. We even have go a step further to have a phone that we have a number that they call and we assist them. Number two, those students who are the first years are coming in for the first time and they have not applied, we are able to help them, as in they can walk in and we exempt them from the online application because maybe they're from very far, they didn't know what happens, and so we are able to assist them. Then the other challenge that we have is students giving wrong information. For example, a student may have called off a semester or a whole academic year. We have on that same website a provision for you to give us your details of if you had called off, and you find that students do not. So when we are doing the allocations, we may leave you out because of your year of admission. But the year of study is at the back. You are 2021,
but it's really in 2020.
but you're 2020. So we'll leave you out because maybe we look at it and we think you're a finalist. So we have students who make that mistake. Then we have another problem of a student giving, maybe is an engineering student, instead of doing J23, they do I23. So that student, you see now, will have a problem. We'll place them in the wrong hostels or in the wrong zone. So those are the challenges, but basically it's a very friendly and easy system or app to use. Yeah.
And just like every other space, I know the hostels sometimes have issues. The students maybe have challenges, maybe living together. How do you address such issues? Like the issues the students go through living in the hostels. Do they come to your offices? How do they reach out to you for help?
We have housekeepers, and 90% of our housekeepers are mental health champions. They have gone through the training. So they are able to assist students from down here. If they are not able, it comes up to the zonal officers, comes to the manager or the director's office, and then we send those students to wellness. For example, it's an issue of maybe fighting, you're not able to live together. Those ones we're able to talk to them. If it goes beyond the housekeeper, now it goes to the next office and the next one and the next one. So we are really able to help them. And we have other departments that we work with, like the wellness. So we have referrals. They come to the office, we do a referral to wellness department, and they're assisted from there. All those who have different challenges may it be, because, you know, hostels is home away from home.
Yeah.
So it's like we are the parents, we have those students who are having, either they are sick, we are the ones who take care of them. We call the ambulance for them. They go to the health unit. We follow up from the health unit with a call. We call the students every morning. All those students maybe who are reported sick last night, we literally call them, each one of them. How are you? How are you doing today? Where are you? There are those who are either at the health unit, there are those who have been maybe taken to KNH or another place. We are able to follow a student until they are well, until the student tells us, now I'm fine.
We are back.
Yes, and we are back in the hostels.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
This is nice. This is nice. We've come to the end of our conversation. Thank you so much for educating us on how to have a better and a comfortable stay here. We do appreciate. Maybe you can share with us the social media platforms for them to reach out to you and the website once again.
Oh, well, for all inquiries, we have inquiries at director-ac.ke. Every inquiry, you can do your inquiries there. If you want to physically be assisted, you can go to Usambara 2, room 15, or you come to the accommodation office, room 8. There's someone there who will help you with all your problems. For any hostel application, right now the website is not on. We usually, after we are done with that period of application, we close it. Yes. Currently it's closed, but it is hostel at ku.ac.ke. Yeah.
Social media?
No, but all the congresspersons, because every hostel has a representative. Usually they have groups. They have their WhatsApp group. So. And they have all the students on that platform. So everything that is happening in Year 4, the students in Year 4, the congressperson communicate to them. Year 3 the same, Year 4 the same. And then the congresspersons also, they have their group, their WhatsApp group for the zone, and now for the whole group, all of them. Yes.
All right. Thank you. A phone number? No?
Yes. We do have.
Yeah. Please share it with us.
I don't have it offered. Yes.
It is okay. It is okay. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I have some feedback. We have Jovial Ray, some fire. Thank you so much for tuning in. Eunice Wagatu, my manager, keep it up. Thank you so much for tuning in. As we have heard from Mrs. Omugunda, you can get a seamless stay here at Kenyatta University. So you should not be worried if you are a student. Where are you going to stay? Are you going to be safe? Are you going to be taken care of? We've had it all. You're going to be in the perfect hands, in the right hands here at KU. Thank you so much. Earlier on, I spoke about Sheila Toya. Obstacles do not have to stop you. If you run into a wall, do not turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it. Those are the famous words of Sheila Toya, the author of Finding the True You. I will be having her right after this conversation, after the short break that is coming up next. So do not touch that dial. You can refill your cup of coffee, refill your cup of tea, refill your glass of milk. It's really cold. You can also grab a blanket. If you are watching us from wherever you are, Facebook or YouTube, at KUTV Kenya on Facebook, at KUTV Kenya on YouTube live, you can hold up tu kidogo. We are coming back with Sheila Toya after this short break.
You know, the interesting thing about life is that as we journey, sometimes we get open doors, and sometimes, I don't know whether you're like me, my goodness, that closed door. It's very interesting that people keep on telling you about how, in fact, the Bible, not even people, the Bible says that knock and it shall be opened, seek and you will find, and then of course, if you ask, it shall be given to you. But do you know, the closed door is not something very interesting to experience in your life. Let's talk about business when it comes to you looking for partnerships, you looking for opportunities that you want to explore. When you experience that closed door to your face, it's not a very interesting experience. But do you know, today on this space right here, I would like to take a moment to just talk about the power of a closed door. Because do you know what? A closed door does come with good things, but only if we understand how it is that you and I can maximize the same to help us in our journey of life. So there you are. You're looking for that opportunity, and the first thing that you do is that you experience that you are encountering a place where you're at a place where you're not making any progress, you're not having any impact, there's really nothing going down. That is one form of closed door. You're having a relationship with somebody else who's really you're not flowing, you're not connecting. This thing is just not getting on. That's a closed door. Some other times you go to a place where you were so high in hopes, knowing that this is something that you're cut out to do. And then the next thing you know, you're being told no. That's a closed door. But what is it about the closed door that is valuable to you and me as we develop ourselves and as we journey through life, doing whatever it is that we need to do at any particular time? Why is it that the closed door is such an important aspect of us living together or us journeying through life that we need to understand more about how to maximize on the same? Well, for one, a closed door gives you the opportunity to, one, become more creative. Creativity. Somebody said that you cannot do the same thing and keep on expecting different results. So when you experience a closed door in your journey of life, whether in business or relationship or whatever it is that you are finding yourself in, it's good to remember that that's a call to be more creative. It pays to be ingenious. Begin to think outside the box. Begin to think beyond what it is that you're normally doing and what you're used to doing, and see how it is that you can come up with value-based solutions that are able to be accommodative for your growth and development, no matter what it is that you're finding. So here you are, you're creative, you're turning on your ingenuity and maximizing on that opportunity to just challenge yourself to look at things differently and see how it is that you can manage to become better and make progress in that situation. Sometimes it's a call for you to do what? To pursue in persistence. Remember, when you're at the door, I hate it when I have to keep on knocking. Everybody in my house will tell you, I want to knock once and then do what? The door opens. But unfortunately, that's not what life is all about. Sometimes you have to knock, and keep knocking. So what does that teach you? It teaches you the attribute of persistence. In life, things don't come easy. Opportunities are not always available to us whenever, however, or wherever it is that we want. Sometimes it's important for us, or many a times it is important for us to keep on being persistent as we keep on pursuing the goals and the dreams that we are having. When you are told that when you seek, what are you seeking? Seek God and ask Him to give you insights and wisdom to know what it is that you can do when you're encountering a closed door. Ask Him for insight. Ask Him for fresh understanding and just a fresh mindset and an outlook towards that situation that will help you. Seek for wisdom from other people. Guess what? The path that you've been on, somebody else has been there and they have become successful. So take a moment to just find out from somebody, find out from a friend, find out from a coach, go research, whether it's on the internet. Take and invest some time in learning concerning that situation so that you can see what it is that you can do. Asking people is not an attribute of foolishness or an attribute of being weak, but it's a grace that we all have to do what? To develop, because we know in somebody else comes wisdom and insight that all we need to do is to borrow and live from, to know how it is that we can apply in the same. Seek, ask people. Let's learn to ask questions. Ask the right questions. If you do not know how, if you do not master the art of asking questions, inquire. Inquire first of yourself. Inquire of your colleagues. Inquire of people that you're working with. Inquire out of people that have gone that path ahead. Ask questions. It's not a
Welcome back. With me in studio, very excited to have the amazing author of Finding the True You. She's come bearing gifts. Yes. You guys. She goes by the name Sheila Toya. I read for you a famous quote that intrigued me, excited me. I don't know if you had it. I read for them, the obstacles that have to stop you. If you run into a wall, do not turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or walk around it. I really
absolutely. Because life is full of obstacles and challenges, but you need to figure yourself out.
Yeah.
Whatever the obstacle is, whatever the season is, just pick yourself up and move on with it. Get along with it.
Oh, wow.
That's a mantra that all of us need to learn. I wish I learned it earlier. Yeah, because then life keeps on happening. But because we do not know, or we do not have the skills to navigate it, there are things you have to go through it, because they refine you, they make you better. They actually help you find the true you.
Yeah.
There are things that you are better avoiding. There are things you're better ignoring. Or there are things that you will just allow to be as you yourself become, just tune into who you are and what you are and live your life intentionally.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Before we get into this beautiful conversation, because it is wowing, you've wowed me already. Who is Sheila Toya?
Sheila Toya is a woman that has evolved into being the person that I am today. I'm actually a person that I've come from Jericho. Yes, I have gone through life. I went to Khalsa Primary. I went to Muslim Girls. And then with the passing on of my mother, I went to Mombasa. So today, Sheila is a mother. Sheila is a wife. I have a 24-year-old daughter.
You're my mother.
Yes, basically. So today you're hosting me. I'm your mother. You can,
wow.
At least you'll handle me nicely as a mom. Yes, so I am a supporter of people. I am a transformational catalyst. I support you to develop behaviors of success so that you can live your life to be the best that you have as God has intended you to be, overcoming every situation that you journey through in life, because life is all about seasons. And what is important for you and me to learn is how or who you can become
that which God intended you to become through that process, whatever it is. So I am a counselor, I'm a mentor, I'm a coach. I am a neuro-linguistic practitioner. I do the NLP program that basically deals with you having a change in mind. If I can change your mind, let me tell you, I can change the trajectory of your life. And just the mindset, the programming that we have in our mind from the get-go. We have a programming that has been implanted in us. It's just a subtle mode of operation. The way you think, the way you look at things, the way you act, the way you handle situations is subject to a program that is existing in you mentally. So many people do not operate life conscious of the same. But the awakening that you and I have to be in every moment at any one point in time is to be in charge of your thoughts. If you're in charge of your thoughts, you'll be in charge of how you look at things. If you're in charge of how you look at things, you'll be in control of how you speak. If you'll be in charge of how you're speaking, you'll be in charge of how you're acting. If you're in charge of how you're acting, then the character of who you are as an individual also becomes. So we can actually take charge and control of our lives and stop this thing that mimi nakuanga hivi. You know that excuse? Mimi nakuanga hivi. This is just the way I am. Yeah. So that is me. I love people. I love supporting people. I love pushing you to become a grander, better version of yourself. Because as a person who has gone through life, I have realized like some of the challenges that I have gone through. I look back and I said, if only I knew earlier enough life support skills that everybody needs them. And people will think, oh, no, I'm already well established. No, I work with politicians, I work with students, I work with, tech guys, CEOs. Everybody needs a
support system.
And what better way to do than for you to come back? And what I do is that I give you a safe self-sharing space. And basically, that's why this book is here today. Yes.
As I was reading about you earlier, or rather yesterday, I read that you've worked with different, like you've mentioned, you've worked with different kinds of people for so many years. Actually, I read for 27 years. I'm not even 27. You've worked with so many people for 27 years.
Yes.
And it's changed your perspective of how you look at life.
Absolutely. I have my initial journey started when I was in the tourism industry. So yes, I have been in the tourism industry. I've been in the front desk, guest relations, manager, then consultancies. I still do consultancies for them when it comes to trainings and capacity enhancement. And then after that, I went into investment and finance, personal wealth management. I've worked for Old Mutual. I've worked for local companies and, of course, offshore when you're talking about selling investments or options to people, tax-free havens and stuff. I got into consultancies. I do local representation for people because I'm still a business consultant. I offer real estate solutions in terms of advice, all that consultation and stuff. And then, of course, now my own journey, now when I began realizing, no, wait a minute, I would find myself in your space. I'm like, why won't you do this? Why won't you do that? Why won't you do the other? Then I realized that took on a different trajectory of coaching and mentorship. But before I got to that, when I was working with people, when I was teaching them about personal wealth management, I would realize that before somebody gives you a check, if they can trust you with their money, they'll trust you with their lives. So here you are, you walk into somebody's office and you need to pick money, but you don't just sell commission, isn't it? We're talking about relationship. So if I come to you and you're like, Sheila, I have a problem. My friends are like this. So by the time this guy tells you about his family issues, you realize that you have so much in your hand that you're not able to handle. So that made me go into counseling, because then I needed to understand, how can I help them? What can I do to be able to be of value to them? Because yes, as much as you give an engagement and speak and share, you realize that you're not really hitting it. So I went into counseling at Kenya Association of Professional Counselors at that time, and I got equipped with the skills. And that enabled me now to be engaging with people. So yes, I'll talk with people, engage, share, counsel, give instructions. Maybe you can do these insights a little bit here. And then now this is where I am today. I mean, I love my life. As I've said, I'm turning 50, and some of us are going to. It's like people say, life begins at 40. No, newsflash, it begins at
50.
At 50.
You guys, you know, I'm loving how you are a counselor. I feel like I'm in a conversation with my mom right now. My mom is also turning 50, and like I said, in a couple of months, and she's also a psychologist as well. So I feel so warm right now. I feel like I don't know how to say it.
You're feeling life. We're doing life.
And she's also been saying that life begins at 50.
It does begin. I think also.
I'm actually halfway there. I'm just halfway there.
Yeah, and the thing is to enjoy your journey. Let me tell you something. I mean, if we understood that this life is to be enjoyed, I think with every season, when you are turning 20, no, let's say when you're turning 18, it was a biggie because then you are legit.
At 18, I couldn't wait to turn 18 because I have an ID.
Oh my God, you are legit. You can do your own.
Wake up and leave.
I can see, like, my daughter. She was like, she's going to have her own ATM card. She has her own account. She has this. She has that. Because 18 came with an awareness of that stage that you cannot deny. Yeah. So come 18, then come 21. Again, another issue. By the time we were 21, some of us were running to marriage. I don't know what was our problem. Please slow down. Don't be in any rush. Just enjoy your money, right? So yes, 21, and then now you come to 28, then you hit 30.
No, you're skipping 25 because when I turned 25, I was untouchable.
Now untouchable. Why? You have your money. You have your opportunity. You are, if you're a person that is very intentional about your own journey, there's another level of self-awareness. There is this space of you know who you are a go-getter, you're driven. My goodness, tell me at 25.
I'm not going to lie to you because I got my awakening when I was turning 20. I don't want to tell people my age, but anyway, I turned 25 this year.
Congratulations.
And thank you.
But see how far you've come. You're doing well for yourself.
This is the year where I discovered who I really am. My 22 to 24, I think, have been the hardest years of my life, and they've made me who I am today. So for me, 21 was not as exciting as 25. Like you've said, is where you realize who you are.
Who you are, self-esteem, self-worth. You know what you want. You know what you do not want. You know what you are, what you are not. You know you have your own goals, your own dreams. I mean, if your head is correct. My goodness, there's nothing that can stop you because there's everything that is working for you. You have youth, you have passion, you have drive. You see the kids that we're seeing nabbing and stabbing people, it's because they have dreams that are not being actualized within them. So imagine if we would flip that positively so that you can help them have direction. If you have direction at 25, nothing can stop you. Nothing can be withheld from you. I was making a lot of money by the time I was 25.
Oh, wow.
A lot. I wish I knew about now, like when I give people counsel, buy property, do investment in foreign, currencies, be like all these things that we are telling people that I now know that I'm teaching even my kid. I'm like, oh my goodness, I wish I knew then. Because then the currency was much more stronger, the opportunities were more, but it's never too late. You can always start. But how privileged it is for you guys to be here and to
have people like you in our lives
going ahead of you, living intentionally and not just intentionally. Because I tell people, many a times when we look at this conversation, my dear, what happens is that we get a little bit goofed with the mistakes. I call them the blips. The blips that you have in life. And then it goes like blip, it kind of like draws your attention. You need to pay attention to what is happening right now. So when you find yourself in that blippy season where you've made a mistake, pick yourself up and move on. Pick yourself up, learn from it, learn through it, and then become better, not just for yourself, but also for the person that will come right along with you or after you.
Yes.
That is intentional living.
This beautiful morning, you have blessed me with this very, very beautiful book. This book is so beautiful. I'm such a girl. I've fallen in love with the butterflies, and it's so cute. It makes me want to read it. It's so beautiful. As you were writing this book, A Simple Guide to Self-Discovery, what was the journey like? Like, how did it start when you picked that pen and said, I'm writing this book?
So one thing that I have learned, as I was saying, is the seasons of life. Life comes in seasons.
Yes.
There are good seasons, there are bad seasons, and we all go through them. Even Facebook right now,
it's not what it used to be.
It's not what it used
5
to be.
to 10 years
You're
ago.
seeing Zuckerberg saying he's having, he's releasing stuff where it was a high, these guys all go through their thing.
Yeah.
So this book, when you look at that, first of all, the cover, the butterflies themselves.
It's so pretty.
It's just the process of growth. There's
Yeah.
a process that you have to realize that as you're navigating your life, whether you're at the egg stage, whether you're at the pupa or the larva stage, whether you're at that caterpillar stage when everything doesn't look like it's happening, please remember that the end product is this beautiful, lovely, lovely, lovely butterfly. So when I was writing, when I started this journey, I was the way you go through a lot and then you don't really. So this basically is my life summed up, part of my life summed up, and of course other things that I've learned along the
Yeah, I
journey.
actually wanted to ask you what part of your life inspired this book. But before we get into that, continue.
Yes. So now the starting, then you realize, okay, so you're navigating. At that time, I would sit with people. A friend of mine would say, "Do you journal?" And you're like, journaling? Why? I talk. Why should I?
That's me right now.
That's
me right now.
Why should I bother about journaling? I talk to people. But then you see, what I speak to you, we will share, unless you're a person who catch it in terms of a note.
That's what I'm saying, me right now. I'll ask people, why am I journaling? And I talk to everyone.
Yeah. So newsflash, I'll help you do your book, right? Start journaling, and I'll help you do your book. Because as a result of this, now I have a publishing arm to me. I've learned it. I'm self-published. As a result of the same. So yes, I started telling myself, put the pen in the paper, put it down, capture it. So when you're going through an aha moment, when your inner being comes alight, aglow, there's just this thing that comes on when there's transformational truth that is coming.
Yeah.
And transformational truth is truth that has been navigated. You have learnt it, you have navigated it, you have confirmed that it is truth. It's a living truth for you. It's like me talking about studio. I can't talk to you about studio. You know about everything about studio.
Yeah.
You can sleep and talk to me everything about production from zero until the time we go live, right? This is a living truth for you.
Yeah.
So for me, this book was all about penning down things that I know are bankable. As in, I can tell you, if you're talking about self-assessment, what is self-assessment? Why is self-assessment important? What should you do? How does it help you? Because I have done it for myself. I have done it for my clients. Yeah, and the people that I would journey through life with. And I know it helps. So it's not just about going and Googling and doing. No, this is living truth for me.
Finding the true you.
Finding the true you. Yes, because we all need to find the true us, the authentic you. Because in this world of today, authenticity and being truthful, you being true, not there.
Yeah.
It's not there. But just you aligning and tuning into yourself and being all that you are created to be at that particular moment. Let's talk about trying times when you've lost a child. I mean, I've lost that. Shikana was my fourth pregnancy that came through. So you've